CJ the Smart Guy coming with you live from the first annual Bitcoin Nairobi conference. Man, it's been amazing. Lots of pioneers, lots of amazing people who have created a lot of different things, startups, all types of stuff. And today, with an amazing guy from Africa Routing, who's been pioneering, going from country to country, educating people on Bitcoin, and just doing really amazing things. So I want to give a shout out to Mr. Megasley. How you doing, Megasley?
Yeah, I'm very good, CJ. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Can you give us a little background about Africa Routing and what you guys do?
Yeah, so basically, like you said, my name is Megasley and I work with Africa Free Routing. We have just one mission, and that is to see Lightning adoption grow in Africa. And there are a couple of things we do. The first we started with was running Lightning nodes, basically. So we had a free routing node. We had about 5 of them in different African countries. And an unfortunate situation happened. We got hacked and we decided to bring down the nodes. And since then, we've been running Lightning Developer Bootcamps. We go to different African countries to bring together developers, introduce them to Bitcoin and the Lightning Network, show them how to build on, on the technology. So yeah, that's what we've been doing. We started running the bootcamp sometime 2024, June of 2024. And since then, we've gone to 10 African countries and we've hosted 14 different bootcamps in different cities across Africa. And yeah, so that's pretty much what we do. We started Africa Free Routing in July of 2022. It actually came out as a spin-off from an organization we started, which is basically African Bitcoiners. If you're actually familiar in the space, or you may have seen this infographic that shows like different projects that are actually available in Africa, different Bitcoin projects or companies in Africa. So that's something we did. It's one of the things we do. And in African Bitcoiners, the focus there is actually to train, not developers this time, train Bitcoiners, try to train Africans to teach them about Bitcoin, from what Bitcoin is all the way to how they can earn Bitcoin, to the point of self-custodying Bitcoin. And Africa Free Routing is just a spin-off of African Bitcoiners. We have other projects as well too. So yeah, that's it.
Okay. And for people who aren't familiar with Bitcoin or Lightning networks or nodes, can you please give them informational about what is a Lightning node, why is it important, and why are you trying to implement it across the African continent?
Yeah, so with Bitcoin, I know a lot of people already know what Bitcoin is. I mean, it's a cryptocurrency. That's what most people would tell you. But the truth is, Bitcoin is more than just a cryptocurrency. I like to say Bitcoin is a digital money, basically. And it was created to give us the power and freedom to, basically transact freely. And with the way it was built initially, it was built to be slow. So transactions on chain are slow. It takes approximately 10 minutes for a transaction to be confirmed. And the Lightning Network is basically a solution that was built on top of the Bitcoin blockchain that actually allows Bitcoin to scale, right? So it allows you to send Bitcoin payments faster and cheaper. And Lightning nodes are basically just computers that run the Lightning protocol, basically. So in order for you to be able to send Lightning transaction or payment via the Lightning Network successfully, there needs to be a node connected to another node, basically. So we have this network of nodes connecting to each other, right? And the payment goes through what they call payment channels. And channels are basically a way where these nodes connect to each other across the network. And we were running one of these nodes. We were acting as a routing node. So there are different types of nodes you can run. If you're running a routing node, it means you're not essentially making payments with the node. You're basically just standing in as a hub. So when someone sends a payment from one node to another and they don't have a direct channel to that node, then your node can come in between as a hub. Basically, it helps forward the transaction to the node if they have the connection to that node, basically. So we had 5 of those nodes in Nigeria, in Kenya, in South Africa, and in Ghana. And the major reason why we needed those nodes to be in Africa is because if you look at the Lightning node map currently now, there's a map. I mean, it's open, an open map on the internet. If you go to 1ml.com, you should be able to see that shows all the different Lightning nodes in the world, where they are located. If they are using clear IP addresses, you could see where those nodes are located. And if you look at Africa, it's very, very scanty, basically. So it's almost like nobody's running nodes in Africa. So we started running those nodes in Africa locally, so we can actually try to light it up a little bit, because it was basically dark. That's why we wanted our nodes to be on ground, basically in Africa. So yeah, I don't know if that answers the question.
Yeah. And you're coming from West Africa, correct?
Yeah.
And so what importance is it for you to come to East Africa and to go throughout the continent of Africa? Like why is that a thing for you? Why aren't you just sticking to Nigeria?
I mean, so when it comes to Bitcoin and actually trying to let people to see, I mean, get people see and understand what the protocol is and the benefits it brings, we kind of like don't like seeing ourselves as just one country generally. So we know Africa as a continent, there's a lot of things that we are kind of like lagging behind if you want to look at it in the global space. And we know Bitcoin is very powerful, and it's a tool and also an innovation that can actually change the playing field that we are currently playing now in Africa. I mean, help Africans get to the level where they can compete with like the global audience in terms of like the financial system they have. And if you look at Africa, you see that the financial system is broken, not just in Nigeria. It's basically all the countries. So if you want to tell people about Bitcoin and, share the education or the good news of Bitcoin, it doesn't make sense to stay in one environment. It's better you kind of like take it out, go across different countries, because at the end of the day, as Africans, we like to see ourselves as one body, basically. So yeah, that's why we are not just sticking to Nigeria. There are a lot of other places. I mean, if you even look at it, Nigeria, when it comes to the stats of people that are really, really familiar with cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, Nigeria is consistently at the top. So there are lots of people that knows about this, even though they don't really know Bitcoin for what Bitcoin is. But there are other countries, other African countries, that the adoption is like very, very low, and you realize these guys actually need this currency. So that's why we take the boot camps and the education we do across, and then take it to different countries.
Love it. And so this is the first annual Nairobi Bitcoin conference. How are you enjoying yourself so far?
Oh, I love it, actually. I love it. Not just the conference, but Kenya, Nairobi specifically. I love the weather here. I mean, from where I come from, Nigeria, the western part of Africa, it's very, very hot, right? And then you're coming here, you can see I'm wearing jacket. I can't really go out without having something to cover myself, but I prefer that better than being like in like a hot environment. And for the conference, it's been amazing. This is actually the very first one. The fact that they were able to pull this up is interesting. And I also like the fact that we saw some prominent people here, and also the crowd as well too. I was talking to one of my friends. I was telling them I actually didn't expect to see this much crowd in the conference. So yeah, kudos to the organizers.
Awesome. And Africa routing, what can we see in the future with that?
Yeah, so like I said, our major goal, we have a focus to see Lightning adoption grow in Africa, right? And every single thing we do is actually driving towards that mission to see Lightning grow in Africa. From when we started running Lightning nodes, we're trying to increase the adoption and get people to also accept Bitcoin payments. Now we run Lightning Developer Bootcamp, and we also help businesses that want to accept Bitcoin payments. Basically, we help them set up the infrastructure for them. The goal at the end of the day is to have more businesses accept Bitcoin as a form of payment, and of course, get more Africans to understand Lightning and actually use Lightning. So for us now, aside from the boot camps we are running, I mean, we will keep doing that, going to different countries. The goal is actually to get to all African countries
Yeah.
and host a boot camp in at least one city in every African country, because there is a need. If you really look at it, there is a need. And for the ones we have gone to so far, we've seen the impact. We've seen people build products that are actually helping the people right there. And then we've also seen some of our participants, come into the open source contribution space. So they are currently contributing to open source softwares, basically. So the goal is to keep running the boot camps. And outside of just running the boot camps, we are also trying to explore how we can, kind of like guide these developers more, not just going to run boot camps and then leaving them hanging somewhere. We want to develop a better pathway where we offer mentorship to them, and also something like an accelerator programs for the project that comes out of our bootcamp. So for every of our bootcamps, we run it for 5 days. The first 4 days is for the actual teaching. The last day is usually dedicated for a mini hackathon, right? So for the hackathon, we've seen like beautiful projects come out from the participants. So some of these projects have actually gone up to become, like real useful tools. Like example is Bitica. They have a booth here that came out from our first bootcamp here in Nairobi.
Nice.
So we want to see how we can have like a structured accelerator program or incubation program for this project. So identify the ones that are actually useful, because at the end of the day, it's not all of them that are useful, and then bring them to the program, and then guide them and train them on how to actually run a company around this, and put it out there for people to use. So that's the goal. And also we also are planning to put our notes back up.
Okay.
But then we do not, because initially what actually led to the hack was because we were using an infrastructure, a VPS service infrastructure to run the nodes. They have data centers in these countries I mentioned. So we would ideally like to have our nodes locally. So we have our local machines running the node and managing them ourselves to prevent the hack, something similar to what we experience. So that is it.
Well, awesome. Appreciate you for coming through. For everybody out there that wants to support you, how can they best support you and your mission?
So if you go to our website, freerouting.africa, you can see basically everything we do. We have details about the bootcamps we have run, the ones we are planning. Basically, we have 5 more bootcamps planned for 2026. We'll be going to Ethiopia. We'll be going to Rwanda. We are going to Malawi. We are going to Senegal. And for these boot camps, I think the best support we would get would be people coming in to actually partner with us. If you're maybe living in that city, or if you just want to support the work we do, you can always reach out to us via freerouting.africa, or you can send a direct mail to Megasley at freerouting.africa. Also, we are on social. You can see us on LinkedIn at Africa Free Routing, and on X we are Free Routing AF.
Well, there you go. First annual Bitcoin Nairobi conference. Megasley, appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, sir.